we are back.
Yes, we are.
And you got your drink going down there, ain't you?
You know, I gotta my
I
go-go
cannot.
juice. It keeps
I
me
cannot.
popping. Pop, pop, pop.
Good day, man. So tonight we have Josh with us and Cuff with us. So we are going to give you guys the floor. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you got going on. Josh, we're going to start with you. Thank you for coming on the Black Girls Gone Wild podcast.
Thank you.
Man, I'm just happy to be here. Like the 7 a.m. Joshua Self. You can find me on Twitter at Self Shoots. You can find me on Instagram at Magus of the M. I have a podcast, Self Shoots from the Hip. And I really just want to talk some shit with you guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
That's going to be good then.
I'm ready to talk some shit too.
All right, well, my name is Cuff. I'm the host of a podcast of my own called the Brain Surfing Podcast. You can type that in anywhere, all major podcast platforms, and you'll find me, Instagram, Twitter, all that.
Okay. Well, again, thank y'all for coming on here.
Welcome back, Cuff.
Yes,
Thank
welcome
you.
back. So, this whole women, masculinity, femininity, all of this is like the big shit that's going around nowadays. So the latest TD Jakes, he had some things to say. So we're gonna play a little clip and then we're gonna get into the conversation, okay?
All right.
If Adam had not allowed Eve to pour into him, sin would have never come into the world. Sin came into the world because Adam broke the order. We were not designed to receive from women. Your self-esteem is compromised when you have to ask your wife for lunch money. I'm not saying you got to be rich. I'm not saying you got to be famous. I'm saying that you have got to be the one who pours in, not the one who takes out. When Adam started eating out of his wife's hand, sin came in because the divine order was broken. This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
They weren't talking back either.
At all.
At all. Nobody say nothing.
Got real quiet up in that place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, fellas, what do you guys think about this? We're going to start with you guys because I want to know the men's perspective of it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you shoot first.
Okay. I would definitely say that like he's off base. Like it feels like he's trying to put a lot of these issues off on women, and that seems really incorrect. Like even if we're in this mode where we want to think things are like 50-50, then it's at least half men's responsibility for the way things are. But it's certainly not all on women. I think a lot of the whole like masculine, feminine thing, we're generations removed from the idea of a man being the sole provider. like the way the economy is, like it's pretty difficult for a man to support a family on one income, for the average person, like most people not making well over 100,000 a year. Like it's some, but most people not. And so you kind of need two incomes to make it in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah,
If that's the case, then it really should be a bit more give and take in terms of like household decisions, and then also household work and all that kind of thing. I think a lot of men are okay with their wife not only working as much as them, but then the wife comes home and does most of the housework, takes care of the kids, and he just kind of, does whatever, watching football or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It should be more equal contribution at home, especially if both people are working,
Right.
I agree. But do I
Hey,
live
look,
it? But I
hey,
agree.
So, Cuff, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I say women in general are probably a lot more masculine than they were. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as the way he's saying things, how things should be. That's like how it was back when damn near it had to be like that. You know what I mean? Like if you want to say the beginning of time or whatever, however far back you want to go, it's like women weren't allowed to have the financial stability to be able to help towards the home. So they had to have a job, and their job was to hold the home down. But as women got more rights and start, being more financially stable, and the average man, not able to hold everything down like that, it became, like he said, more of a 50-50 thing. Also, when he said we raising our women to be more masculine, be more masculine like men, whatever. I think sometimes people talk about men and women, a lot of times, especially us black folk, we talk about men and women like everybody's our people and where we come from. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't talk about in general. Because in general, it's not really like what he's saying. But a lot of times, in the hood, inner city areas, a lot of women, like black women, have went through so much pain and hurt that they might try to protect their daughter by telling them stuff like, focus on school, get your money, don't worry about no man, make sure you hold your own stuff down. If he can't bring this, that happens. Exactly. But I think that's more common in the hood than other places, though. So, it's not as big of an issue as he's making it. But if he's talking about our neighborhoods, then, you know what I mean? Like, I get what he's saying. I'm not going to say I agree, but what he's saying got some truth to it, though.
I definitely agree with you. And when you say if it's in the hood, because I can see families in the hood saying that versus somebody who grew up in the suburbs. They're probably not going to have those same conversations.
Exactly.
I agree. Because I was one of those who had that conversation with my mother. She was like, even though, you make sure you go to school, you get your degree, you get whatever you need, you always have a job, you never know. You know what I'm saying? My mother was married to my dad telling me this stuff. It was just,
And at her time, that probably fit more, you know what I mean, for like, her upbringing and the time she came up in, it probably fit more. And I think as parents, we have to let go of some of because the thing is this, right? We try to hold on to some traditional type things, but the other ones, we would 100% ignore. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have like one foot in, one foot out. You can't just like push for the ones that benefit you. You know what I mean? So that's just a little crazy. But yeah, we definitely as parents got to get better at, changing with the times, not bringing everything our parents taught us onto our kids, because the world has changed. So stuff changed. You can't go about things the same way.
That is very true.
Yeah. 100% like agree with that. I know my grandma, she got married at 14, and normal. I mean, this is almost 100 years ago at this point.
Right.
Like I think she 96. So it's a different time period than where we are today. And so you only got married at that age for economic reasons, not like, oh, I'm really just so in love with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
no
then you really
14-year-old
know.
makes good relationship decisions, but women couldn't have their own bank accounts for a long time. Women couldn't own their own property and all this kind of stuff, and so you kind of had to get attached to a man to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things have changed, but like if she has kids, which she did, like what is she going to teach them? She's not really teaching them the same kind of things we would be talking about today. It's more, trying to find like your own path, because you don't necessarily want to depend on somebody to make it. As soon as women start getting more opportunities, it's like it's not don't get married or whatever, but like you gotta be able to have a little something stashed away for yourself just in case things go bad,
And
and
look,
they
I'm
often
sorry.
did.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I gotta say real quick. Another thing too, though, like, all right, so, oh damn, I'm sorry. Hold on. Go ahead. My bad. Hold on. Go ahead, man. My bad.
I just think it's important that like we look at the context of like where our parents and our grandparents, what time they grew up in, because things changed. It's a lot harder to make it. Like, I made way more at my age than my parents did when they were my age. But the money I made, it don't go that far compared to, what I'm saying, when they're my age. So it's just things change.
So, in your opinion, Josh and Cuffed, and whether you feel this way or men, that you're around and had conversations about it, do you think that men now want women now to be our grandmothers and all of that, but they not being the granddaddies? So, do you think that's where this whole masculine fight is coming from?
I don't think it comes from that, but I don't know, man. I think it's men and women both, dog. I said a minute ago. Like, yes, men kind of do still want the woman to like hold stuff down, the traditional type stuff like that with the kids, and men in general, yeah, but don't want to pay all the bills like how stuff was when it was traditional. So, yeah, I do think it's like that. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm saying, is that where do y'all think that's why men are calling women masculine, because we won't be our grandmamas?
No, I think men are calling women masculine because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like women in general definitely these days are a lot more masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like I see some check me out, right? I'm only 36, right? But I'm low key kind of old school. Feel me? Like I be seeing women, they look beautiful, but they get to talking, and I swear to God, they go from 10 to 1 on my like it's just gone. It be so aggressive, so like this all this cursing so much and nigga this, it be just aggressive and I don't like it. I don't like it. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, you can be fine as hell. You get to talking like that aggression, it just not like nah. I don't. It's too much of that. I don't like it.
You don't ever think it's how you approach them?
Oh, and no, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying. They don't talk like. I don't get that like directed towards me. I'm saying in general.
Oh, okay.
I hear women talk.
That could also be about
I work security at a bar.
Their environment.
That's another thing too, because it probably is more of an inner city thing, and people who want to act like people from the inner city, more of a thing like that. It might be more, you know what I'm saying, like that. But I work security at a bar, and I'm telling you, like women in and out all day from all walks of life. It's a lot more aggression than I ever seen growing up. Way more. It's crazy. I think it's because women put a guard up because it's things that men did in the past. Maybe I don't know.
I think part of it is like the definition of like what's considered masculine and feminine has changed over the years. Once upon a time, like men could wear heels and it wasn't seen as weird. You know what I'm saying? That's just what people did.
Or like it's back like that now down there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like what we consider to be masculine and feminine, it changes over time, but we learn a lot about the world from our parents. And so the definition that our parents had is not the same that we have, but that's where we learn from. And so I think that's where a lot of the conflict comes from.
That is true.
Yeah.
Right now, my husband tells my daughter, boys do not wear nail polish because she wanted to paint his nails. Boys are not wear nail polish, and if anybody tells you differently, tell them that they're wrong. And I tell her you cannot tell him, you can't tell her that, but
Especially not in today's world.
he's old school. He's like, boys don't do this, boys don't do that, boys, and he's gonna tell my daughter this. And she's gonna, gonna be raised. Well, my daddy told me boys are not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that parents should do that per se. Not really. Even like if my kid want to like I got 2 boys. Like say they want to paint their nails. Like what I'm gonna say
paint your nails. Well, if you had a daughter, your daughter wanted to paint your nails.
Oh yeah, I would tell her that. I would tell her like I would more word it like tell her how I view it. You know what I'm saying? And let her know that everybody don't view it that way. But the way I look at it, I don't feel that men should paint their nails. And then just me as a man and me being a proper father figure, I think she'll look at me as an example. Just for me saying that, like I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but I'm just saying I don't agree with it. And I think she'll follow my lead.
A Q&A. Daddy, why? Why daddy don't wear fingernail polish? Because boys don't wear fingernail polish.
I don't feel like men should wear or boys should wear fingernail polish. You know what I mean? I feel it's I try to personalize it like, I feel this way. I won't try to put it like it's like to the world like that's wrong. Like men with you know what I mean? Because I don't
the world might look at it like this.
And like it's okay. Yeah. But if we were raising our kids like our ancestors, we would do the same thing, right?
That's true. We would probably be worse, but that's true.
Yeah, but I don't do that though. I ain't rocking with that. I ain't gonna lie. That all that old school stuff, like I said, I can pick and choose, but some stuff is situational. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff was certain ways because of how things were back then, and they shouldn't be applied to 2022. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
So I guess we all gotta pick and choose with the traditional, and we all gotta kind of because.
Well, we can straddle the fence a little bit, can we? Because I'm a straddler of the fence.
Yeah, you got to. I don't see how anybody couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
I straddle it to my advantage sometimes because
you straddle between masculinity and femininity. Is that what you're straddling?
Well, in the definition of the masculinity, I don't think that I am, but in society and how
I don't think you are.
No,
I don't.
Well, maybe not now,
but I don't think you are.
Maybe not now, but maybe about before my baby, yes, but not now. No, now I've did more of a 360.
I would say you're not just from what I've seen, right? But now this is where it comes.
I'm not what?
Play, though. You're not like masculine from what I've seen. But now check me out. I think a good amount of men might not agree with me, but those men, to me, I view them a certain type of way. I think that they can't. It's a whole other topic, but I think that certain men can't handle a black woman. You feel me? Like that's just something that I feel like. And the ones that can't,
I agree with you because sometimes
y'all got a little more kick, a little more backbone, a little more.
And they think that it's
they look at that as masculine,
yes,
right?
And
to me, that's not masculine. That's not. It's not. Because to me, if I say something crazy to you and you just sit there, you can't say nothing back. Like you're weak. Like I can't even fuck with you. Like you got to speak your mind. Like tell me how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to know.
But isn't that what men want?
A lot of men do, but to me, like this is how I look at it. This no offense, but goddamn, that shit is weak to me. I don't like that. Nah, I'm cool. I want to be with an actual human being, not a fucking robot or a damn doll. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like talk to me. How you feel?
But majority of men want to be with a robot.
Yeah, they do.
They don't want.
They're weak.
Josh, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like. The average man is gonna move towards being lazy. Like, what's the least amount of work I gotta do for something? And so having a woman that will more or less just put up with this stuff, a woman that has a relatively low bar, like she will basically take anything just for the sake of having a man. Like that's what a lot of guys looking for. and part of it's like insecurity, like they don't feel that great about themselves. And honestly, like most people not making six figures, right? Like most people getting by. And so if I'm someone that's getting by and, I come up to a woman and it's like, well, she expected me to be a provider or something like that. And I can't really do that. And so rather than me get better, I'd rather put the fault on her. Like, you shouldn't be asking for all that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it's just men being lazy. Like, if we're supposed to be the leaders, but we push that off on the woman, it's like, nah, you be the one that takes care of all this stuff. Like, you heard about like the homosexuals or whatever that kind of just like moved in
Wait,
with
so
just
what? I ain't heard of this. What is it called?
I heard that
a
term before.
homosexual. Like, they just moved in with like their Xbox and their Jordans. Like, that's all they bring to a relationship.
Oh,
Child,
I ain't never heard that. I'm gonna have to use that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they live off the women and stuff like that, basically. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I just think a lot of men are just lazy and they don't want to be held accountable. What a lot of Black women bring to the table is a higher expectation. And so she's speaking out of love, but she's like, I want you to be better for me and for us. But a lot of men just like, I don't want to have to be better. Like, I'd rather bring you this little bit that I got and let that be enough. And I think that's one of the bigger problems. It's just men being lazy.
Okay. I think, me personally, I would say out of the two of us, I know I have my masculine ways.
She act like
Do I want to be?
niggas.
I don't want to be that way. And that's the God for honest truth. I do not want to be that way. However, I've been in situations, relationships, whatever you want to call it, where I felt like I had to leave the femininity and move into the masculinity part of it because he wasn't doing it. So I think that could be a reason why a lot of women are masculine these days.
A lot of men want to focus on how women are in a relationship, like as far as the masculinity and stuff, but they don't want to talk about like why it is that way. You know what I mean?
That's my thing.
I always say, for real, I couldn't imagine being a woman how emotional y'all are and like having to actually guess if a man really fuck with you for real. Like
he
y'all
was gonna say that
know.
and we wasn't gonna catch that.
Right?
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
And listen, I know I'm emotional.
Oh yeah, shit, I am too though. I mean, men are too, but it's a different type of
I was
thing.
explaining that to my husband the other day.
You know what I'm saying?
Men are emotional too. It's just a different type of emotion.
Definitely. Yeah. Then a lot of times we're not allowed to express like softer emotions, so we cover that shit up with tough type shit. But yeah, men emotional too.
I hate when y'all say y'all not allowed because y'all are or should be. That really.
No, I'm saying we weren't allowed. As far as like growing up, like nah, it wasn't a thing. Listen when a little boy cry, you be like, stop acting like a girl, crying like a girl.
Still now though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah. Right. But see, me personally, like I still say something like that every so often, but I'm pretty good not bringing that up though. Like that's not really a, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to say that because like I see now what it could do to a young boy and a young man. You know what I mean? So yeah, I try not to do that though.
We do say that a lot. I said
it
just the other day, and I didn't even realize it until you said something.
Just how I said, like some of the things that we done as men to cause women to act a certain way in relationships, like some of the things that women did when raising young men caused us to be a certain way as grown men. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men still are scared to show emotion and stuff. Still, like men be scared to get hurt for real. Like that's why men be on bullshit. How they do sometimes, like it be like almost a protection type thing.
So y'all be scared to get hurt. So what y'all do? I'm gonna hurt you first.
Thank you, because that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna hurt you first. Let me hurt you first.
I know a lot of men rather just keep multiple women. So it's like if she do me wrong, I feel like I got hoes anyway, or I got hurt. You know what I'm saying? When really like that don't really make it no better for you. But like it's something to like lie to yourself and keep telling yourself type shit.
That's so stupid.
It's stupid, but it is what it is though.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I get it.
So I seen
Yeah.
this onto this TD Jakes conversation. I seen on
Yeah.
Instagram where a black woman, said that black women don't like to be protected by black men. And then
What?
it kind of, caught me off guard. So I had to pause and listen to it. And she said, for instance, when we go out with our girlfriends and our man be like, "Oh, where you going?" We quick to be like, "Why you asking where we're going? Like, why you want to know where we're going?" Or when they ask, who are going to
Yeah.
be there, or what time you coming home, or just like more so
Oh, okay.
worry, or we're so quick to. And I know I do that myself. I have done that myself.
Y'all
I've
take it
gotten
like we
very
clocking
overly
y'all or
protective.
something.
Excuse me?
I said y'all take it like we clocking y'all.
Yes. And the question was, why don't we look at it as protection opposed to being controlled, or,
I like that. Yeah, I
trying
like
to be
that.
ran? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me, I'm gonna jump in. I kinda agree with what she's saying, only because if your man go out, you're gonna ask him the same questions. And you're asking him those same
Yeah.
questions because you want to make sure if anything pop off, you know where your man at.
At all times.
Right. Makes
So
sense.
why is it different?
I know I in the beginning of my relationship with maybe because I wasn't used to it. When he would ask me, I'd be like, chill out, I'm grown. I'll be back, I'll be back at a reasonable hour. I'm a married woman or we were dating. I'm not gonna come in at no crazy hour, but like where I'm going, who I'm with, chill out. But now that I've gotten older and we've been married for, oh so long, it makes sense now. And I don't feel, then I definitely felt like it was being, he was trying to control what I was doing, where I was going, all that. Now I definitely see it more as security, yeah, protection or whatever. But
I mean,
I see
the way
why.
things are these days, you damn near want to have your location on and give anybody permission to leave.
Like for real though,
Yeah,
like
protect me, baby.
for real,
Please protect me. If,
Like,
if
give
I'm
it
for
to your
not
real.
friend, give it to your
in my
man,
phone, I'm
somebody.
looking for the man. Protect me. I
Listen,
hide behind you, mister. Protect me.
yes, listen.
So
You can even do a drive by, be like, "Baby, I'm outside. Come in."
Real quick, I got two things. One, I think a lot of times it is like people actually showing genuine concern, but sometimes people be really, really controlling though, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Where I know a lot of men, they don't really want their girlfriend or their wife, whatever, to go anywhere, because they just want to
Mhm.
know her every move, and a lot of that comes from his insecurity. But that's she picked him for whatever reason, and a lot of dudes would be like that. They don't want her to go out nowhere. But I also think sometimes it's just like how the question is being phrased, like the person's tone of voice and that kind of thing. Because sometimes it can feel like someone genuinely cares about you, concerned, like if you're going to a certain area or whatever, make
Mhm.
sure they got everything they need. And sometimes it can feel like this person is putting you under suspicion, like I think you up to some fuck shit or whatever, and I'm trying to find out. So a lot of times it just depends on like the person's attitude or whatever, their tone of voice and that kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, the
I
way they go
definitely
about
think
it.
it's what you say, not how you say it.
But
Yeah.
for me, it was more so, you don't think I can take care of myself, or, you know, I was single for so long. I was moving, I didn't have that. So it was like, what, you think I can't take care of myself? I'm 30 something years old. I've been without you all this time. How you think I made it all these years? It
Right.
was more so is, you don't think that masculinity, you don't think, I'm strong enough or I'm bad enough that I can take care of myself, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Now I'm like,
Yeah, I
take
feel
care of
that.
me.
I agree
Protect.
because we just had an argument. You asking me where I'm going. Now I feel like you either trying to follow me, you trying to fuck up my night. So I
Oh
get it.
yeah.
It's all
Oh
about
yeah.
tone and setting It's
See,
about a
y'all
lot of
done had some crazy men. That's what it is. Y'all done had some experiences. That's what it be though. So you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm very
But
understanding.
listen,
So I get it. That's what it
that's
be.
her. That's her with them crazy niggas.
not
That's her.
me.
Man.
Not
I
me.
done heard stories from
She,
a lot of women. I be like, damn, I couldn't be none of y'all. Lord Jesus. I'll be going
that's
through some
her.
shit.
These men are something
Man.
else. They are.
Yeah,
Yeesh.
that's her
These
with all them
men are
crazy
something
niggas.
else. So yeah, but I don't know. Like I feel like it's not. I don't think they're masculine. I think it's a protective thing. I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
women use that kind of stuff. It's protection. Like she said, you've been single for so long, so you move differently. And when you get into a relationship, you tell me I gotta drop all this shit.
It's
Yeah.
It's not
diff-
easy.
it isn't. It isn't. Especially if she's a
If you never
career
had a
woman. Like she actually has. She out here doing the damn thing. And
yeah.
you coming in here trying
Or
to.
if she never had a man that really was trying to protect her like that. That might be a thing
That's
too. Like
true.
if it's a
That's
new
true.
thing for her, she's gonna take her time to adjust also. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. That is
Yeah, 'cause
true.
I mean, everybody, like I said before, I think on y'all podcast, I do feel like men are supposed to lead, but just because you're supposed to lead, don't mean you're capable of leading.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you're
Absolutely.
supposed to, but that don't mean you're capable of doing it. If you're not capable, you might gotta fall back a little bit.
That was deep, Cuff. That was deep. These niggas need to understand that. These niggas need to understand that. A lot of them don't understand that, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That was
What's your
deep.
thoughts on
Yeah,
that, Josh?
it'd be a lot of that. Like y'all had mentioned earlier, whatever. Like when the fuck nigga comes, at year whatever, and then some years later, a better guy comes along, but like the fuck nigga done messed it up for everybody else. Like he didn't create these terrible standards that she expecting. She like, well, I didn't been with this terrible dude and this terrible dude, so I guess it's just
Mhm.
how men are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or you hear stories from your friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I didn't heard
Mhm.
terrible stories, and I probably didn't been that dude one time. Um,
Oh, we done been them
At least
girls.
you
'Cause I
at
know
least
I
you
done
admit it
too.
though. That's
I
growth.
ain't come out the
Growth.
game. Like I didn't come in like on top of everything when I first started
Of
dating. I
course,
didn't
of course.
mess some things up for people before, and um, you learn and you grow from whatever. But I'm sure that it's somebody out there just that thinks men are terrible because of me, and it sucks. I wish I could like go back in time and do it
Oh,
correctly. You know what I'm saying? But it's just how it goes.
yeah. It's a lesson in everything. So
Mm-hmm.
you learned
You
something, and
can't
I'm
I
sure
hate
they learned something too.
yeah, people want to just throw everybody. I don't know. I guess you have multiple experiences like that, but and like I said, once again, I'm 36. I don't know because I'm a little older now, but like I can't do that shit no more. Cause you're not gonna hold some shit from somebody else that did to you against me. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
think
So it's
that's
not
what
really
it is
cool.
though. Like when you
It's
really
yeah,
get
it's
into the
not.
deep of it, I
Yeah,
think it's some similarities there. So
Yeah, you
what
see a similarity and think it's the same thing, but like, nah, it
no,
ain't,
no,
it
no,
ain't.
no. I don't think it's the same thing. I think what person A did, person B did something similar, but because I have not gotten over the triggers of what person A did, now I'm
Right.
compiling all this shit. And because
Yeah.
you here, you gonna get it. Is it right? Not at all.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Not at all. But I
I
mean, I
mean,
do think it's a lot of baggage from a lot of shit. Men and women. If men have dealt with multiple women, that
But
put them through shit.
that's the thing. Men, society. I ain't even gonna say men because women do it too. We always say women come with baggage, but men come with
Oh yeah.
trunk
Yeah. Yeah.
loads.
Yeah. I know my
Truckloads.
Oh,
issues.
well,
I know
wait,
And
the
it's
issues
what?
I
never
come with.
discussed. Y'all come in these situations as perfect
Yeah.
as can be. With no
Oh
issues.
no.
Y'all done
Hey.
fucked over some bitches, so y'all
Oh
got
no.
trust
Yeah.
issues.
Hey, I know I'm fucked up.
Y'all see y'all mama fuck over y'all daddy, so y'all definitely got trust. You like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Y'all come in with all types of shit, but it's the woman that has all of the baggage.
Did you say they saw
Yeah.
their mama fuck over their daddy?
I'm saying, it's
Oh
mixed.
yeah. Hey. Look.
Very not what I heard.
Shit happens.
I've seen some things. You know what I mean? Both ways for
Shit,
sure.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Everybody has a lot of baggage that they come with, and I think it's both people to really unpack that baggage at the very beginning, and that's what I think we're one of the biggest problems is that we don't really have real conversation with people at the beginning. We we wait too late. We wait 6 months in, a year in, 2 years in to really start talking about stuff that matters. And now you already got, these emotions with this person, but you just now finding out that, they can't hold down a job, or, they cheated on their last 5 boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's just like, man, we need to talk about this stuff at the very, very beginning, because someone might be a narcissist or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever they got going on, like, it's better to know it up front. But people aren't really honest, because a lot of us don't feel like if we're honest, the other person's actually gonna love us, where it's like, well, I'm gonna just pretend to be this person.
That's what it be.
Right. People be insecure.
Yeah, that's what I say. Insecure. That's the representative who we wish we were. That's the person that we need,
or who we or who we think that person want us to be.
Want us to be.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Who am I meeting today? Am I meeting Smoke, or am I meeting Smoke's representative?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The whole time Smoke want to come out, but nope, I have to be perfect for this man.
Hey, the crazy thing is with men, I be trying to say, like, I be trying to tell that shit pretty deep. If you're not the type of dude that cuddle early on when y'all fucking around and y'all sleeping, bruh, don't do it just because she wants you to. Don't do it. No. You setting yourself up, because once you stop doing that shit, she gonna think you cheating or some kind of weird shit, bruh. You can't. Why you acting different? When really you never was into that. You was only doing it because that's something she wanted to do. Y'all was dating early on, so you doing it. No, I'm serious. Cuddle, holding hands,
don't tell me y'all niggas don't like to
is.
cuddle for real. Y'all just be bullshitting about the cuddling.
I'm gonna think that nigga if he come home and want to cuddle with me, because baby, it's off of me. I got 5 good minutes for you, then I need you to go on.
Hell no.
I don't know. You want to come home and cuddle with me? What you did?
Damn shame.
That's how I be. But you right though. If a man does anything different than what he did in the beginning, what bitch you cuddling with now? You ain't cuddling with me no more.
You know what I'm saying?
But
people call me an asshole for saying stuff like that.
Sometimes their ass is sneaking the fuck out. Sometimes
it be that too though. It be that too.
I'm saying, sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade.
But people, men and women, and I think I'm realizing men do it too. Sometimes you be like, oh, it just be women that be I just forgot. That's so crazy. I just forgot. So somebody go. My brain will come back to me.
Okay, I have a question.
I'm glad I got my wild shit on the show. Wild shit going on. It was good too.
Hey,
go ahead, girl.
It happened to me earlier. Don't even trip. It happened to me earlier too.
It's kind of off subject, but not really. A lot of people are coming down on TD Jakes about the comment that he made. Why does society put pastors on such a high pedestal? Like they're not supposed to say
I have no
nothing.
Again, I think it's how Black people were raised. The pastor right, the pastor right, the pastor is right.
But then when he says something that you don't agree with,
the pastor's still right. Look at Kim Burrell.
He's supposed to be a leader. The same way we look at like politicians or whatever, we hold them up to a higher standard. Like, you're in a position of influence, some degree of power that comes with that influence. And so it's expected that this person is going to use it to benefit society. Now, obviously, none of the motherfuckers do really, especially when you get to these pastors that have millions and millions of dollars. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the guy who he and his wife got robbed, and they
everybody saying it was a stage
set up.
Yeah.
I ain't heard
Yeah,
about that.
but it
Not the
was like $1 million
pastor.
worth of jewelry that
Look,
got stolen. And so it's
Oh
like,
wait, I
why are
think I
you at
did.
church with $1 million worth of jewelry on? Like, why
Yeah,
even have $1 million worth of jewelry? You know?
yeah.
I agree.
Um, but we hold them up and we expect more out of them. So I think that's why people make such a big deal out of like TDJ saying something like that. You know, especially in the Black community, like we just hold the pastors up.
Hey, look,
You know, back
after
in the day,
everything that done happened, man, I don't see how people still do that. Continue, my bad. Go ahead. I don't see how people still do it because you're right. But I don't understand how people still do it. After all of these things that pastors and priests and shit have done. I don't see how
Mhm.
people today still hold, even politicians like us, expecting them to do right and stuff. Like, I don't see how people still do that today. That's weird to me.
Yeah, it came from like you know, the church and the Black community was where it wasn't just church. We would have like the politicians would come and say their piece. We would have like community meetings and all that kind of thing. And that was like my grandma's day and some of like my parents' day too, where like all these other type of social events happen in the church. And so then they pass that on to us. And even though it's not like that anymore, we that's where we got a lot of our information from. And I think that's why we still kind of hold the church up the way we do, even though it's not really the same then, you know, compared to what it used to be. Like, you know, Martin Luther King came from the church, you know, Jesse Jackson came from the church. And so a lot of our bigger figures, they came from the church first before they, you know, were doing their activism and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
but again, he's a man, and he was speaking some truth
Right.
to the conversation. So why be mad at him?
I
Like
don't get it.
they trying to dethrone the man.
Because
Why?
he's not using his platform how they feel he
They
should.
feel
And
You
that's
know
the
what he could have
problem
did though?
is
You know what he
they.
could have did?
you're right.
He could have had that conversation, but posed it more as a question to the people who were listening. You know what I'm saying? And he would have probably word a little different and pose it more as a question, more than saying it like this is what it is, like it's a fact. Maybe pose it as a question. It might be viewed a little bit differently too.
So
But do
basically,
you
Same
think?
message though.
telling people.
But do you think a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
said that he was more so tearing the woman down? Do you think he was tearing the woman down in that piece?
I
Do
think
you
it was
think it was
pushing
more
off the
so
problem
geared towards
onto
the
the
women,
women.
or was it geared towards the men? Like y'all need to step up. You know what I'm saying? Or was it?
It
I would
should have
say,
been that way. Like it should have
yeah.
been men need to be better, men need to step up. But it was presented in a way that women basically need to diminish themselves so that the
But
man
isn't it?
can relationally be better.
But isn't he saying that like he's talking like as far as like the young girls are like being raised, right? So it's
I
like,
took
so it's
it as
like he said
go
we're
ahead.
raising our young girls to be like our young women to be like masculine and stuff like that, like being respected for like masculine shit. So like he's talking about like how y'all being raised, right?
Me personally, I took it as how we are and how we're raising our children. So,
Right.
because he did say something about don't come home telling me about your degrees and how much money you make and all this and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Yeah.
I think it's what we're passing down because we stopped what our parents passed down to us,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's talking to women now, my age, younger, who has children, who has
Yeah.
daughters as well. And not
I
just
see that, but I think just a little twisted. He could have been talking to the men too. Like
yeah.
it's like this because y'all not stepping up, y'all not doing. You know what I'm saying? You guys aren't showing. You guys aren't being the strong male figures for the younger generation coming up.
Oh,
So these women they gotta come out here and say, I got this, I got that, I got this, because these young men aren't coming out
like
saying,
the
I
more
gotta go get this job so I can be a husband and a father and have a family. We're not teaching our sons that. You know what I'm saying? More so we're teaching our daughters to get out there and get it. You don't think maybe he was trying to deliver it
yeah,
that
I
way?
don't know. I think he was coming. I think he was like, honestly, most of that what he was saying, I think was really coming at
The women.
specifically women. Yeah, because like okay, like it's safe to assume that he looks at it like when it comes to young raising young women, that's more of what the mom does. Like both parents do it, but I think that he probably looks at it like that's more of a mom teaching the daughter how to be a woman. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm looking
So
at
I
it like
think he was
this.
putting most. I think he was supposed to put most of that on women.
I agree with Cuff. I do think he was putting most of it on women. However, I feel like if men actually listen, then it should click something for them. Because
That's
true
what I
enough,
was saying. Like
yeah,
maybe people were thinking it was geared towards women, but he probably was saying it like the women are teaching our daughters because we didn't have those. I want to grow up to get a job, have a family. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that, so we had to teach our daughters to. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you
I
know,
get it. I just think
give it
that
a bit of a
just
twist.
listening to the words he used, I do think he was coming strong on women.
Women,
But I still feel there is a message in there for men if they listen to
Right.
it. That because the women are teaching our daughters not to be masculine, but do what the fuck you got to do.
handle your business.
However,
Yeah.
Handle your
if
business.
daddy is here, then we wouldn't necessarily be raising her how to be masculine because daddy is going to do what daddy
My point.
should be doing.
Yeah.
My
Right.
point.
I
But
think there was one part in it that really stood out to me though, and that was like he was basically saying that when women are acting masculine, that they won't get praised for being mean and tough and possessive. Basically, like a lot of negative stuff or whatever. And it was basically like, is this what he's considering to be masculine? Is being mean to people or being possessive and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that just stood out to me as like that seems bad. I was like, I don't like the
like
idea
it's
of
kind of like he's trying to say they go hand in hand, right?
yeah.
But
It's
Yeah.
like
even if a
you
man
don't have to like that, you know.
had those attributes, he'd just be a nasty ass nigga.
Or
Yeah,
just being a
yeah.
man.
No, I don't agree that men are nasty and mean and possessive and all. Everything that like Josh said, everything that TD Jakes was saying was pretty much saying that these are the reasons that women are masculine. So if that makes women masculine, meaning that we acting like men, you mean that men are nasty and possessive and all that, all of them? And this who we trying to act like? This what you think of yourself, sir?
Well,
And
no,
it's
you know
okay,
what?
Right,
Hey, you know what?
right.
He probably look at it like if a man reacts to something a certain way, that's him being a man. If a woman reacts to it as the same exact way, then she's being nasty.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
That's what
where
it
the
is. Like a lot
strong
of
black
men
woman
feel
come
like
from.
a lot of men feel like if like I just said, if men react certain ways, it's okay if you're a man. It's like if you're a man, you're supposed to act with that type of aggression or whatever it may be. But if you're a woman doing it, then you're acting like a man. You know what I'm saying? It's just viewed differently.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, though, there's things that women do that if a man react that way, he look weak or weird or whatever word you want to use. So it do go both ways, though. It do go both ways.
They're gonna say
Yeah.
Like you just said if a dude try to cuddle or some shit, you gonna think something wrong with me.
That's just my own. You see how I'm moving now? You're just thinking about cuddling, just get off it. So yeah. What you was gonna say, Josh? I thought you was gonna say something.
Oh no, I was just I was piggybacking off of what Cuff was saying that like a lot of stuff that a woman might do, a man might react in the same way, but it's just looked at differently. You know, like if I start crying over something, if it's anything less than like my grandma died or some shit like that, it's like bro, like what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, real. Look, check me out. You just made me think about something, right? I got two sons, like I said, 16 and 13. They came up here from Texas a couple of weeks ago, right? Maybe a month ago, whatever. And they was telling me how my younger son was telling me how when my older son was younger, he was trying to do something on basketball and he couldn't figure it out and he started crying. So my younger son thought it was funny. And my older son kept saying, I wasn't crying. No, stop. I know I wasn't. Yeah, you was. Poppy, they going back and forth, right? And then I came in. I'm like, look. If you're trying to do something you're passionate about and you can't get it, it makes sense for you to get emotional. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And I think more dads should you know what I'm saying, should say things like that and do things like that because man, you can cry. I don't give a listen, man. What motherfuckers ain't the whole robot thing. You a human being. Like, how could you not ever cry? Like,
Right.
Something gotta hit you. Something gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be one thing.
I
It gotta be
100% agree
multiple
with
things.
that.
Now, when you do it, a woman might think you look weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing too. You could do that shit, and then she might view you differently from that point on.
For men. I do. I swear I hate it for men.
I do
Yeah,
too.
so that's the reason why a lot of men would probably continue to not show certain emotions because they ain't trying to be viewed that way. So we both be fucking each other up, man. We just fuck each other up. Like,
we do.
It's back and forth. Like, you know what I mean?
But we do it because of what society, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're so society driven. Everything has to what the world thinks or what the world says, or you know.
Fuck the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. I think because like if you're trying to get a woman, you're trying to get a man or whatever, you have to appeal to them in some form or fashion. Like, and so you kind of have to fall within what you think people expect of you as a man or as a woman. And that could be complicated sometimes because everyone is different. And we don't always allow room for people to really be outside of, what we expect. Like, if a guy wants to paint his nails or something like that doesn't make him less of a man. But a lot of times people will just see that and be like, oh, I don't want to fuck with him because, I don't think he's as manly or as masculine as I would like him to be. That's just the world that we live in. And that's not the way it should be. But what it should be and what it is not the same,
But check me out though. I don't know how old y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Once thing I keep saying, I'm 36. I got to the point where, and I think everybody gets to this point at some point where you are really comfortable in who you are. Like, and you can be that. Like me, I don't, that whole, what he's saying, like, I agree. And I've done it in my younger years, you know what I'm saying? But today though, shit, I ain't putting on no act. You finna get Pierre. You feel me? Not cuff, none of that shit. You getting straight Pierre. Like, I ain't playing, man. I'm gonna be who I am. And if you fuck with it, you do. If you don't, you don't. Is that simple?
I think that's where I am now. The older I get, the more I'm settled with that. Like, bitch, this me.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now it's always thing we can change. It's always thing we can change too. It's always little thing we can change. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying and tomorrow may be a different me, but today,
right.
Today is
it's definitely like the goal that we all should be striving for. Like, we all should be trying to get to where we comfortable with ourselves, we love ourselves, and if someone else doesn't fuck with us, then it's like whatever. Like, that's your loss. But if we're being honest, most people don't get there. And that doesn't mean anything if they're like 40, 50. A lot of people just they don't get there.
You're right.
Just being honest.
You're right. And it takes sometimes it takes others longer than others. More longer than others, but I'm happy I made it. Better late than never. I think I'm the oldest one on the panel today.
Okay, you the wise one, girl.
41.
Guys, this has been fun. We appreciate y'all for coming on. I truly enjoyed talking my shit with y'all.
Yeah.
This was a good one. So, when you guys do something, have us on.
Yes.
Favor.
Yeah.
We definitely set something up. I've been bullshit. We definitely set something up, man.
Yeah.
I got one question though. For cuffed, are you cuffed?
Yeah, what's going on?
No, I'm saying like, are you cuffed?
Am I cuffed? Oh yeah, I got oh man, one of the kids is kind of nearby, so I can't fully explain. But yeah, I got a girlfriend right here.
Okay.
Yeah, check out my podcast, man. It's pretty interesting. You might want to dive into like that little me and my girls little thing. So yeah.
Okay. All right, I can do that.
Okay, well, check them out.
Cuffed. Not all the way cuffed though. He be playing.
I am not. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Peace.
All right, you
All right,
too.
man.
Y'all be easy.